This is about our Healthy Michigan plan, our Healthy Michigan bill, which in the media, and the shorthand for that, of course, is the Affordable Care Act. But it's an important distinction. This is not the Affordable Care Act as it applies to Michigan. This is a bunch of reforms. Archimedes is known for this quote: "If you give me a place to stand, I can move the world." He's referring to the lever, of course, and the idea thereof. What's the lever here? Well, the lever is the Affordable Care Act, and the moving of the world are the reforms that we have placed into the bill that you have, to the draft bill that you have before you. The legislation that was introduced and passed by the House improved considerably upon the federal Affordable Care Act legislation. And the mechanism that it used for that was increased accountability and the notion of giving a hand up for those in need as opposed to just a handout. And at the end of the day, I think that's the best help you can give somebody, is to foster their ability to be independent. I thanked you folks and my colleagues, and in particular I forgot to thank the staff for all their hard work, and it was a lot of work. This last weekend alone, Cheryl Pisa must have put in 20 hours. Nancy Vrabel the same. Amber McCann standing back there, probably just fielding phone calls. You probably were busy most days. But I also should thank Representatives Lori and Shirkey for the work that they did in the House in crafting the ideas in the beginning of the bill that we have here. This Healthy Michigan plan, and I wish it was shorter words than that, because it's not good soundbite material, even though it's the truth. This is our Healthy Michigan plan. This is not the Affordable Care Act. It relies on two federal waivers that make changes in the Medicaid program and allow us to find a path off Medicaid for able-bodied individuals, but also enrolls individuals and provides for an account to pay for health care services through that account, which will have contributions in it and will deal with co-pays. That was the House framework for this idea. The program is contracted health plan based. We usually just say HMO, but I guess for the purposes of what you see in the bill, it says contracted health plan. The second waiver limits cumulative Medicaid eligibility to 48 months for able-bodied individuals between 100 and 133% of poverty. That's the background. That's different from the Affordable Care Act. And that's just the beginning. Our work group focused on ways, our Senate work group focused on ways to improve upon the current legislation by identifying reforms that can be implemented without federal waivers. And our ultimate goal was, is, and will be Healthy Michigan. And specifically, the work group has identified reforms that focused on increased accountability, and not just for individuals, but for the state, for us, for providers like the health plans or hospitals, as well as the individuals. And it's important as well in this process for us to preserve Michigan's independence here. That means our ability to opt out of Medicaid expansion should it not serve our purposes. And that was what Justice Roberts in the Supreme Court opinion provided to the states of our country. Our ability to maintain our independence and make our own decisions about what will fit for us. And that was, it was important to us and is mentioned in the bill. Is my colleague, Chairman Hoffman, there? I'm honored that you be here. Nice to see you, Joe. Additionally, besides the ability to opt out, and that being important to us, it was important that we put within the bill that the reforms will continue. They will continue whether we opt out, whether the Affordable Care Act is repealed, and whether or not the waivers are not granted. That, I think, is the exclamation point on why this is our Healthy Michigan plan, reforming Medicaid as well as giving help as defined in the original Affordable Care Act by the federal government. It should be stated that Michigan administers and offers one of the most efficient Medicaid programs in our country. Actually, as far as I know, it's the best. Massachusetts has a pretty good plan, I'm told. I'm very, very satisfied with the effectiveness of our Medicaid program as delivered through our HMO folks, through our hospitals, through our providers. And making it better, I think, just makes us stand out that much further. We know that people who have access to health care lead healthier lives, and I think that's where the federal government started, to improve access to care. But access is one of three elements to the provision of health care. There's also the cost, and there's the quality. And then the cost driver has unbalanced our ability to talk about quality and access. The bill that we offer, that you have before you, besides dealing with the access, bends the cost curve in Michigan. And thus, in addressing all three, I think it serves as something that the nation can look at and ought to emulate. The Affordable Care Act contains a lot of taxes, about $500 billion, I think, all in. And those tax dollars remove Michigan resources. And we want our money back. And this bill, this program, will bring over $1.5 billion a year back to Michigan. And with it, untold thousands of jobs. And it's also going to improve the soundness of our state's budget to the tune of over $500 million in the next 2 years alone. Those dollars will allow us to address other state priorities. Fill in the blank. What do you want to do? The next thing I'm working on after this is roads. So road is a 4-letter word. Roads is a 5-letter word. Maybe it's better to say roads. But other folks, if they were standing here, would want to do something about the cost of higher education. Maybe we need to look at just the cost of education. Maybe there's a personal priority that you have or a legislator has. It doesn't cost a lot of money. Maybe it's a $1 million program, or something like I did earlier this morning, a $30,000 program. Having the dollars to be able to do that depends upon a sound state budget. And these dollars, this $500 million that we will have to improve the soundness of the state's budget over the next 2 years will therefore make it easier to address those priorities. So it's our plan. It's Michigan's plan. Lastly, Winston Churchill in an often quoted remark about the Battle of Britain, when it appeared that they were going to, in fact, win that, and it stopped seeing the bombs raining over London, said this is not the end. It's not the beginning of the end. It's the end of the beginning. That's true about this bill, too, because contained within it are a series of reports, and they're onerous to do, that the Department of Community Health will generate, that will provide for us information about what we do next in trying to improve medicine for our people and reform it further.